Hi, it's Bruce. It's Saturday, October 16th, 2010, and I got to get right to it because there's so much to talk about. Two weekends ago, I just got back from Columbus, Ohio, where I went to see my partner Bill Russell and composer Peter Melnick's new musical, Last Smoker in America, which is playing at Catco until October 24th. So if you're in the Columbus or Ohio area, stop by. It's very funny. Peter wrote a wonderful score. And it's 90 minutes long with a great cast. A lot of fun down there in Columbus, Ohio, where I also have relatives, so we had a reunion. Okay. I know nobody wants to hear me talk about American Idiot again, but I went for the third time because Billy Joe Armstrong went in, is Green Day pretty much. He went into the role of St. Jimmy, replacing Tony Vincent, who was out for 2 weeks. Billy Joe did it for a week, and I love American Idiot. Billy Joe is phenomenal. Tony Vincent is also phenomenal. So get to American Idiot. It's really enjoyable. I know it's heavy rock, but you know, some of us old people can take it. Now, let's get to the three shows I saw this week, because I'm going to two more this weekend. We're seeing the LB today, and tomorrow Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. So I'll go in order of how I like them. It was three plays. I like them all, actually. And the first one is Bete. And I saw Bete about 25 years ago at a preview, and I just loved it. Bill and I came out of there going, it's going to win Best Play, Best Actor, Best Director, Best Set, Best Costumes, and then the critics did a major poop on it. It only ran a few weeks, wound up getting like 7 Tony nominations anyway. So the revival, which was done in London and was just brought here, is directed by Matthew Warchus, and it stars a phenomenal performance by Mark Rylance, who won the Tony for Boing Boing a couple years back, David Hyde Pierce, who's always brilliant, and Joanna Lumley, who I think is everybody's favorite from Absolutely Fabulous, if you've ever watched that British TV show. I think Bete's really quite a good play. It's all done in rhyme couplets, and it's a takeoff of Moliere, and it's set in the times of Moliere with a fictional playwright named Elamir, which is an anagram of Moliere. And he has this high-class troupe that's sponsored by the court and the princess, who is Joanna Lumley. And the princess has taken an odd attraction to the street playwright performer, very low comic actor named named Valère, and he is Bete, the Beast. So she wants the Moliere kind of playwright to take in this base street performer playwright, and I think it's all about how high art can be corrupted by trying to play to the lowest levels, trying to accommodate the lowest base form of audience enjoyment. I think it's kind of relevant to a lot of entertainment today. Mark Rylance has a 25-minute monologue at the beginning, which is just phenomenal. The play runs about 10 minutes under, about an hour 50, I think, and there's no intermission. I highly recommend it. Some people don't like it as much as me. I think it's a pretty good play, and it's very, very well crafted. Beautiful set, wonderful direction by Matthew Warchus, and an incredible performance by Mark Rylance. So I'm on the side that actually likes Bete. I liked it as a play 25 years ago before it got pooped on, and I like it today. So that was my favorite, I think. Another great play was The Pittmen Painters, which is at Manhattan Theater Club at the Samuel J. Friedman Theater. It's by Lee Hall, who wrote the book for Billy Elliot. And it has the same theme as Billy Elliot about the miners. This is about miners in I think Newcastle in the 30s and 40s. And they used to have this miner union, sort of, that would bring in educational things for classes and for the education of minors. And they happened to bring in an art appreciation man because they couldn't get the economist that they wanted. And it's about this group of painters who work in the pits, in the mines, who become, well, they're not painters, they're miners. And they become painters. They start painting their own paintings, and they actually became quite a well-known school of art in that area, and became very famous. It's a very well-written play. The first act, I think, is quite brilliant. The second act, not maybe as quite as dramatic. Wonderful cast. This is the cast that did it. They started in Newcastle, and I think they probably went to London. I'm not so sure on that. I think they probably went to the West End maybe a little bit, and now they're here with the original cast. It's a little bit of that heavy up north accent that some people find hard, but I thought it was pretty clear. And it's very, the end of Act 1 actually had me in tears. So yeah, I highly recommend it. It's a much more serious kind of play than Bete, which is got a lot of laughter in it. And the third play is David Mamet, who I always love, in doing his revival on Broadway of A Life in the Theater, his two-character play. I have never seen A Life in the Theater, and this stars Patrick Stewart and T.R. Knight, so why not? Some people think it's a little play that's lost in the Broadway house. I didn't think so. Patrick Stewart's wonderful. T.R. Knight's a revelation to me. I thought he was quite wonderful. I had seen him in the revival of Noises Off, which I thought he was hysterical in. I never really watched Grey's Anatomy. I guess he won some Emmys for that. Anyway, it's the older actor in a resident theater company and the younger actor up and coming. And it's only 90 minutes long, and by the end you can see that the younger actor is ascending and the older actor really isn't going anywhere anymore. Some people have a problem with, it's about 38 scenes, some of them lasting only like a minute. And there's set changes in between each. Some people say that the set changes get too much in the way of the play. The people who change the sets are right there in view, and I sort of thought of it as the tech crew in your life in the theater. If you live in the theater, you work with these people, and I sort of thought that the scene changes were part of the drama of every day working in the theater. Anyway, 3 good plays, take your pick. A Life in the Theater, which is at the Gerald Schoenfeld, the Pittmen Painters, which is at the Samuel J. Friedman, and my favorite, Bete, with a wonderful cast. I don't know how well it's going to sell. It is sort of the audience was really having a good time. I'll have to say they were really laughing, and the performances are great. I hope Mark Rylance wins the Tony, but it's kind of early to predict those things. We're seeing, as I said, 2 shows this weekend, and then we're going to Barcelona. So I've got to go decide when I'm back. All right, well, have a great weekend. Go see some theater. I'll be seeing some musicals soon, but it's all drama right now and comedy. Thanks.